Welcome to Word Nerds, visualize your vocabulary. Turn any ACT word into a picture and remember it forever. I'm definitely going to need to comment on this kind of talking later. Alright, let's start off with today's first word. It's phlegmatic. It's adjective, synonym, it just basically means you're emotionless. When you're emotionless, like you can't show any emotion at all. And remember this with phlegmatic. There's a flag on the paramedics team, and he has to determine whether you have to go ahead and it's safe to perform CPR on this guy. Oh, and I just realized there's a face here. To perform CPR on this guy, or to go ahead and flip him over. And these are apparently his two hands. Next up, we have cursory. Cursory is an adjective, and this just basically means you're hasty. And when you're hasty, well, you're just doing it fast. Now, Ori, you remember this guy with Ori? Ori here is going to the movies with his friends. But his mom says you have to clean your room first. Until he makes his bed a little bit weirder. He puts his dirty clothes underneath, and then he puts stuff in the trash, and then he runs out. And so his mom curses. It says, curse Ori. Because he did it so hastily. Alright, next up we have stymie. Stymie is a verb, and this just basically means to obstruct something. When you're obstructing something, that does kind of weird too. Here we have stymie. Remember with stymie. So there's a pirate who has an eye patch and a sty inside of his ear. I mean, eye. He has a sty inside of one of his eyes. And so he basically curses to himself and says, I'm never going to find that whale with an eye patch in one eye and a stymie eye. Stymie eye. You know, because it's like pirate talk. Da 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 da. Alright, next up we have translucent. Translucent basically means, is an adjective, and this just basically means semi-transparent. It's transparent, but it like makes the image that you see through it a bit obscure. That's what I mean by that. A transparent object would make me see a human on the other side of this glass. But a translucent object would make me still see a human, but not as clear as a transparent object would be like. And so you remember this with translucent. So you have an Uncle Lou who's translucent, and we basically wrote on the label translucent. And it's translucent, and he's like, oh my goodness sake, I can almost see through it. Next up, we have unkempt. Unkempt is an adjective, and this just basically means you're very messy. When something's unkempt, that just basically means that thing's very messy. Now, you remember this with non-kempt. So, here we go. None that are supposed to be known are actually known for their orderliness and cleanliness, except non-kempt. Non-kempt, well, it's an exception. She wants to go ahead and keep everything like this. All she wants to do is read the Bible and keep it interpreting it. Well, the nuns kicked her out, cause non-kempt was so unkempt. Next up, we have wither. Wither is a verb, and this basically means for something to wilt. And when that thing's wilting, that just basically means that thing is going ahead and it's shriveling it up, like a fruit sauna, the dehydration system. So here's an apple slice talking. Remember, with an apple slice talking to a banana slice talking about the weather. And he said, if this weather keeps going up, then we're gonna shrivel up and die here. I think they're just gonna shrivel up, but I don't think they're going to die. Well, they are going to be eaten eventually. Alright, next up, we have intermittent. Intermittent. Intermittent here is an adjective, and this is basically means to be very irregular. When something intermittent is happening irregularly, or it's one way or another, it's irregular. Now, you are a person taking glass bottles to see if they are great, if they are the right quality, perfect quality. However, today, whether it's a prank from your coworkers or it's just your boss trying to see if you're paying attention, there are mittens on some of the glass bottles, but there's no pattern. There's no pattern, but they keep showing up at so often that it still keeps you on your toes. What you do? You go ahead and look at the mittens, and then this mitten, and then you will decide that it's just so intermittent. When you think that no more mittens, enter mitten. Alright, next up we have eclectic. Eclectic is an adjective, and this is basically means a varied way of choosing something. So, you're at a this egg is at a pet store, and it goes ahead and licks a tick to see if it's the perfect tick. And he said, "This is the one, put it on a leash and let's get going." And this person's like, "Why are you licking everything, including cats?" Alright, next up we have infer. Infer is a verb, and this just basically means you're going ahead and you're making a guess about something. You're deducing something. Oh my goodness. Alright, back to the video. This is the greatest caveman detective of all time. He basically said, "So our Missy was not in the far, as well as rocks. Me in far because of it's not in far," and that's when a stalactite goes ahead, lands on his head, and ultimately kills him before he can even say the answer. And to this day, we have no idea what the mystery is about. You remember infer with infer. And finally, we have portent. Portent is a noun, and this just basically means an omen, like something that shows something. So you ask some people to tint your glass windows. They did it, but a week later you realize that they did a poor tinting of it. There are bubbles that grow larger on it every day. And that's it. Now it's time for my test. I really hope you guys don't mind, but bear with me here. First, okay, here, portent, a noun. Infer, verb. Eclectic, adjective. Intermittent, adjective. Wither, verb. Unkempt, adjective. Translucent, adjective. Stymy, verb. Cursory, noun or adjective. Phlegmatic, adjective. And that was WERD. Visualize your vocabulary. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Glint, glint, glint. You know, because I have metal. Bye.